We shouldn't be more than that. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody, to another Facebook Live. I'm here with Franzi and Ted, and they are calling in from Germany. Thank you guys for being with. It's late at night over there. It's early in the afternoon here. I know it's probably been a long and grueling couple of days of quarantine for you, and I appreciate you jumping on a little call with me today.
Yeah, we're super excited to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So these two human beings are really inspirational to me. They have a long history, both of them, of doing amazing entrepreneurial things. Between the two of them, they've started companies, they've been coaches, they've been obsessed with fitness, they've done a lot of really amazing things. And their project that they're working on right now, called Deep Fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the reason that I wanted to bring them on today. And what they're talking about right now is what I personally am referring to as family-centered fitness. And we'll see how they describe it and what they call it. But guys, one of the things that I'm like really freaking out about right now is I'm a social exerciser. I go to the gym every single day, and I like to go with a buddy or two. I like to be in a class setting. I like to have people to push me. And now, like, I'm legit quarantined, and I don't know what to do. So I want you guys to talk to me a little bit about like how you do fitness in your house right now, why it's so important, and why we should kind of be listening to what you've got going on.
Cool. Great question. How do we do fitness in our house right now? Well, to give you a little bit of context, our house is chaos. We have a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and an 8-month-old, and Franzi's sister is living here. So it's just total chaos all the time. We both work. Luckily, we're both accustomed to remote work, being entrepreneurs ourselves. But there's
a lot of needs in our house.
There's a lot of needs. There's
a lot of people demanding attention, probably not a whole lot of space. So there's a lot of energy bottled up in a little...
Exactly. And whereas you have the mental inhibitor or excuse of I'm a social exerciser, so this is going to be harder to exercise by myself, we have the excuse that we could lean on, and sometimes do lean on, we're human, of like there's too many needs. We have too many people to take care of. We don't have we don't have enough energy after all of that. Or the workout's going to be too short, so it's not worth doing.
Oh yeah, I hear that.
But that's exactly, I think, where we have to all work out, right? That's the exact moment where we'd be like, all right, kiddos, time for 10 burpees, right? And usually our 5-year-old jumps in with us, and we do a little bit of like 15 minutes, like off, families going all in, and we're doing 10 burpees and 10 jumping jacks and 10 monster jumps, or whatever we come up with to make it fun for the kids. But
okay. This is not normal behavior for a family. Like, it's not. I'm just going to throw this in here. To me, it's not normal for a family to be like making dinner, or for there to be just like a bunch of chaos going on, and then all of a sudden mom says, "Okay, we're going to do 10 burpees." Like, where did incorporating these, like, this fitness, how did this become a part of your life? I know like fitness has probably been important to you, but this isn't how most people think or operate.
Yeah.
What's your story? Like, how did this become something that you guys are passionate about?
We're both athletes.
Yeah.
So that's the easy one.
Before we met each other, or tied the knot, or had kids of our own.
Or had kids and then tied the knot.
Yeah, we had kids and then tied the knot. We both enjoyed working out in our own private lives. Like we were like you, like we loved going to the gym, or working out with a friend, or going for a long run by ourselves, listening to our favorite music or podcasts or audiobooks. And
man, we had so much time. Yeah.
We had so much time. And then so it was still something that we enjoyed. We had that going for us. But I think, personally speaking, when we had kids, it became a real question of managing like expectations on what a workout should feel like or should be. And something that really helped, that just a memory that popped in when Nate asked this question, was like, after you gave birth to our first son, Maxie,
Yeah.
we were in this tiny apartment, also in Germany, because we were waiting on her green card. And Maxie was like 6 months, 3 months or something, 4 months. And you were wanting to heal after the birth, and I was wanting to get back in shape because I hadn't worked out in a long time and hadn't been eating right. And we started doing these insanity workouts in the backyard in the springtime. And Maxie was in his little vibrating Fisher-Price chair, and he would bounce and smile at us as we, probably laughing at what goofballs we looked like, as we would follow along on the screen and do these crazy, like jumping around to Sean T from Insanity.
Sean T, let's go!
Go dig deeper. And
I've been doing Insanity in my basement this last week.
Yeah.
Great choice. I mean,
so fun.
He's legit.
Yeah.
He gets you go deeper.
And he got
so you guys are doing Insanity in your backyard and you're watching your kid like
he was digging it. And then he got older. We kept working out. We became very passionate about like learning different types of workouts that we could do and self-educating. And
I think I don't want to interrupt, but like I think that in a bit more of like a serious fashion here, like I lost my dad in 2013, and he was fairly young. He was 62, and he had died of cancer and a bunch of other issues. And one of the main reasons why he passed away that early was that he didn't take care of himself. It's that easy. He was a fantastic father. And I miss him every day, but he didn't take the responsibility of being a father and take care of his body, because then he would be around and see his grandkids grow up and watch us having a good time, right? And having a good time with him. And I think that for me, I as I said, like I have been an athlete for a really long time, just as Ted, but that moment in 2013 was like breaking point, right? Like I was like, I have to, if I want to have a family, like I have to be on my game. I have to be the best version of myself. Because I'm raising, I mean, I didn't even know that I would be raising 3 boys, but now I'm raising like 3 boys that I want to be like emotionally intelligent, like healthy, strong men that, know what they're up against in the world and can deal with it and are ready for it. And I feel like fitness is that one thing that prepares you for it, because you move into your body, you sweat it all out, and then you feel great afterwards.
You dig deeper.
And then, I mean, that stuff is so real and it's so easy, and we make it so freaking complicated.
Yeah.
Talk to me more about that. Yeah. How are people making working out too complicated?
There are a lot of misconceptions about what fitness has to be or look like or feel like. I need gear, or I need a gym membership, or I need the right angle for my Insta selfie, or I need I need to lose 10 pounds on
shots fired.
I need to lose 10 pounds before I can even show up in the gym. I have people I know who are afraid to go to the gym and use the gym membership because they think that they're too fat or too skinny to even show up in the gym, which is, so everyone's got an idea. For us, even, like I mentioned before, for a while there was like, I need the workout to be uninterrupted because I was an athlete before, and I was used to having these like really intense, hour long, just
pre-programmed,
programmed. I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna hit a PR today. I'm gonna like break into that next level of pain tolerance. There was like a very masculine bro culture, like push harder that was programmed into my brain that I had to break out of. But those are the reasons I think a lot of people don't work out, is that they have misconceptions about what fitness has to be or feel like or look like. Now, the thing is, if you zoom out on what fitness is actually, when we think about it from like a physical fitness and exercise standpoint, it's just moving. It's using the body that you have, that's a gift, and moving it, climbing, dancing, running, lifting stuff, like stuff that humans have been doing since we evolved from whatever we were before this. And it's pretty wild that today we live in a setting where we're sitting most of the day in our desk jobs, most of us, and then we drive
including
home,
us, eh?
including us.
Yeah.
And then we drive home, not anymore because we're quarantined, but then you've got to commute.
We sit on the couch and watch Netflix.
Yeah,
right?
So you end up being inactive for almost all of the day, and then
it's like 23 hours a day. You're either sitting or laying down.
Right.
Right.
And
Jeez.
The most natural solution to that would be to just get up often and move around. And
take walking meetings as an example.
Exactly.
Right? Instead of make that last meeting that you have, another phone call that you sit down with, like just get up and walk, and maybe even walk home, and maybe through that you get an hour of walking in.
Yeah.
Right. Great. I think just to add to what Ted just said, like the reason why we're complicating it is because we have lost touch with ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not moving enough, because we're not using our bodies in the way we're supposed to, as in like because we're human beings.
Yeah.
We have lost touch, and it's like what that could mean, right? And it's really hard for us to use, like, to almost come up with the creative brain power to be like, okay, I really do want to be more active again, but I have all this stuff going on, and then they look at all those like fitness programs and all the stuff that all the money that you have to pay for it, and all of a sudden you're just like, man, too much.
Can't do it.
Right? Too much.
Yeah.
My kid to bed, and here you are.
So I love the direction this is headed. I had a phone call with my mom today, and I was like kind of touching base with her, seeing how things are going. And my mom wakes up every morning and goes swimming with her girlfriends. She's amazing. Like they mix up their routine. I think they swim 3 times a week, and then probably like do a little cardio and lift weights together. And they're just like this great little social group, and they haven't been able to exercise lately. And I was talking to my mom, and she's like, I don't feel like myself because I haven't been exercising. Yeah. She's out of her routine. So I want to get a little practical with you guys right now. I want to talk about what things people can do right now. Maybe they've got kids at home, like some families are like you. They've got 3 little kids running around all the time, and everybody's stacked on top of each other, and it's a little bit crazy. Or maybe they're like my mom, and they're just like home by themselves, and they're used to being with their friends, going to the gym, and they're just finding themselves out of their routine, out of their element. They're not walking into a CrossFit box, or they're not walking into a Globo gym where they have all of the weights and the swimming pool and like the machines and everything that they need to do their typical workout. What advice do you have for people in that situation to just work out in their homes, and what could that look like?
I know that's your favorite one.
Oh, I love this. I'm ready to go. So I think that the 2 things that are most important when you're trying to start a new habit or transfer an existing habit into a new setting or context. Number 1 is start with something you're familiar with. Like if you do CrossFit, then you have a range of movements that you know how to do that you can adapt into a home environment or a gymless environment. If you do yoga, do that, right? Don't be like, okay, I need to buy a TRX like workout bands set now that I'm stuck at home and I can't go to Core Power anymore.
Right.
Like there are a lot of yoga apps. There's a lot of yoga exercises online.
YouTube is full of it.
YouTube has so many good guided workouts.
You can literally just type in, like I spent the morning on Pop Sugar this morning, their YouTube channel, and they just have tons of like high intensity interval training and kickboxing and like all sorts of crazy stuff.
So cool. I mean, the age we live in, it's like there's so much information. I think the problem though is that there's so much information. And so people feel intimidated that they don't know where to start. And the best place to start is where you feel comfortable already, where you already like know how to do the movements, you know, you're not going to hurt yourself. You're not, you aren't worried about looking stupid in front of other people that are living with you.
Bonus.
Bonus points. And then the second thing that's important is consistency. So we beat ourselves up when we start a new plan or a new program and then fall off the wagon. But if you're able to just do like a tiny habit each day, like start with, okay, I'm just going to start doing 5 or 10 minutes of yoga each morning, or I'm just going to do like 50 push-ups a day. That is maybe you'll stop after 50 push-ups every day, but maybe you'll also be like, this is kind of fun. I'm breathing a little. Maybe I'm going to like go for a run around the block and
do some air squats.
And
or burpees.
Yeah. Or burpees, my favorite. And it snowballs. You don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need any equipment, actually. You just need your body. And if you like equipment, you can get some, but it's much simpler to start than we tend to think.
So what did your last workout look like at your house?
Today? Oh, that was fun. We did have equipment. We do have a very limited home gym. We have a set of kettlebells, and
we do have a lot of kettlebells.
We have a lot of kettlebells.
Like,
you love your kettlebells. That's great. You found your thing.
We've been buying like one kettlebell at a time for years. And we just started doing kettlebell training like 3 years ago. We love it. We can talk about why, but we have kettlebells. We have this ball, this like really heavy ball called a slam ball. You slam it on the ground as hard as you can, which is great when we're like a little frustrated with our toddlers.
And we just treated ourselves to an echo bike, which is the biggest to our family. Big investment. We've been saving up for it for a little while, and it's awesome. So today we did 20 seconds on the bike, and then we switched, and then we did 30 seconds slam balling, and then we did that for like 20 minutes. And
that'll have you stuck in wind.
But you could totally do the same thing and be on, if you don't have any equipment, and just like do high knees, right? 20 seconds of high knees. And
high knees is like running in place but lifting your knees up past your hip level.
Love it.
And then you do 10 burpees, basically the same sort of like movement style. You don't need any equipment. You actually need no space for this. Like you could do it in this, like, I don't know, you need the size of a yoga mat probably.
What if you got kids running around?
So if you've got kids running around.
So in our case, and this is also what we like tell friends and stuff, is like the easiest way to like incorporate kids into those workouts is to just start doing them. Right. So they're always going to be running around. Right. And you're always going to be like catering to their needs at some point during the workout. But that's OK. But at some point, Maxi, for instance, always joins in and is like, either he's cheering us on, or he's counting reps for us, or he's joining in and doing the burpees, the jumping jacks, the whatever it is. Right.
Or he's telling us we're not working hard enough.
Yeah, he does that too.
He's like your coach.
Yeah, he totally is. And
I love it.
So because he's 5, it's a lot easier at this point. The 2-year-old who is very athletic for his age, we have no idea how that happened, but he usually just like joins in for a minute or two, and then he just like sits down next to us, and then he sort of like does his thing. But because he knows this is what we do in our family, it's not this like weird thing anymore, right? Like constantly screams for attention or whatever it is. Like they know this is happening. Yeah. They know this is part of our DNA. And so they sort of like accept it. And sometimes we just also like put them onto our shoulders, or and do air squats with our 5-year-old or a 2-year-old on the shoulder. I usually pick the 2-year-old and he picks the 5-year-old.
Or if you're doing push-ups, like have them climb onto your back and add extra weight to your push-ups.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You could also like, you know, like lift them up and like
thrusters,
right?
You
And like
use your kids as implements to make you stronger.
Totally.
Oh, totally.
I love it. I mean, depending on the age, you're not going to get a 15-year-old to get on your back while you do squats, but when they're that young, it's probably a lot of fun for them to just sit on mommy's shoulders while she does squats.
It's super fun. They laugh. They have a great time.
By the time they're 15, I would hope that they're like, you know, trying to compete with us. But
yeah, or that we're on their shoulders.
That's very cool. I like, Franzi, you said something earlier that I want to hit on before we kind of like wrap this up. But one of the things you talked about, and I think this is really relevant for right now, is everybody's so focused on not getting sick. Mm-hmm. And there's more to being healthy than just not being sick. Mm-hmm. You know, the health is not the absence of disease. There's way more to it than that. And like you kind of referred to that when you were talking about your dad. Yeah. So I want to just like, can you guys speak to the importance of staying healthy, not just being not sick during a time like this?
Yeah, where to start, eh?
Anywhere you want.
Yeah, I know. I think the biggest element here is, at least that's how it started for me. So I'm talking out of my own experience, and then I can sort of like go on from a societal level if we want to. But like for me personally, or for us individually, it is also a matter of like being the best version of ourselves. And I mentioned that before. But that also means all the like sort of like benefits that come with being fit, right? Also psychologically, we have very demanding jobs. We have 3 kids, and when we're not in quarantine, like it's still a lot. There's still a lot happening, right? And I realize when I take 30 minutes for myself in the morning and invest into my body and invest into my mind, and sort of like set an intention for the day and then like go do that workout that sort of like incorporates that intention, then I'm a much better person, right? And so being healthy is so multidimensional. It's not just physically fit. It's also like mentally fit. Mm-hmm. Like being that wonderful person that you know who you are, but you sort of like sending it out into the world, right? And again, like there's all those solutions out there, right? And all those things that you can do to like, you know, all those self-help books and all the whatnot. But what we totally forget is like, if we just move our bodies and move into our bodies and out of our heads, all the answers are there. Everything is there. There's nothing that we don't know. And so I think that's really, for me personally, and it's something that we have like sort of like become more and more aware of the more we worked out over the past few years, and the more we turned our athletic careers into, you know, this sort of like fitness regimen at home. Like that's really what stuck with me. That's really
how does having that focus on just being the best version of yourself, including especially physically, how does that impact your relationship between the two of you?
It is so
it's
important.
Essential. It's essential.
Why is it essential? Why is it important?
Like related to the topic of growth marriage. Like if like in order to like, so one thing we've seen in a lot of our friends who are in relationships is that like you have 2 people who are growth mindset with regard to their own personal and professional lives, but they're not growth mindset in their relationship. And so they're not converging in this double helix over time where there's an opportunity to do that, but they're not aware of it, or they're not embracing that opportunity. And for us, this might be a good time to mention the family vision. Like when Franzi was pregnant with our first son, we decided to go on a family retreat. He participated from the belly, and we spent 3 days walking around the city of Leipzig, Germany. We got on a train and stayed in an Airbnb and walked around the city all day, every day, and walked and talked and walked and talked. And walking is such an awesome way to like see things the same way, and be active as you're doing it. And we developed a family vision and a family manifesto that now hangs on our wall in our entranceway of our house. And that has guided so much of our decision making and our sense of identity as individuals, as a couple, as parents, as a family unit since then. And it's made decision making really easy when it comes to maintaining a certain commitment to fitness. Now, the question of like, how has this influenced our relationship or positively impacted it, I think comes down to like 2 or 3 different areas. Like, one is at the most fundamental level, like when you're committed to your being your own version of your own best self through your own practices and behaviors and commitments, that is a level of self-respect that you then bring to the relationship. And if both people have self-respect, that I mean, in our experience, but also just thinking about it from from your perspective too.
Yeah.
If both people have self-respect and respect each other for having that self-respect, then that can have a really big positive impact on the sustainability of a partnership. I mean, marriage is one type of partnership, but we've both been in business for 15 years. And in business, you have partnerships too. And if one partner in the business is coming from a place of lacking self-respect and is out of alignment with themselves and isn't living with integrity, then that is harmful to the partnership.
Well, you usually in business, you then say, this is not the right fit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But in relationships, that gets a little bit messier, and it doesn't have to be. And I think that's really important.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
I think on the second one is really like working out together, which is by far our favorite hobby, but is such a good way to like tune in with each other. And connect with each other, and even if we don't have the time for like a lengthy date night or date morning, or
connect through your workout,
we do connect through the workout, and we high five each other, like, you know, when we accomplished it or in the midst of it, to like keep going. Or it's just such a, and it's it helped us with the intimacy of our relationship too.
Mm-hmm.
We've grown closer to each other, especially at the beginning of our relationship. Like, I think like the fear in a lot of relationships, and I think we've both been in such relationships, it's kind of awkward, you know. It's like, can I work out next to my partner? How is he or she going to look at me? Do I look weird? Right. There's like all those, like all the self-talk, right? Mm-hmm. But it really also shows that there's probably a lot more that you should be talking about.
Yeah.
Right? If you have that feeling while you're sweating with each other. And so it just gives rise to such a beautiful moment of just like, hey, there's this like thing inside of me that I kind of like need to share with you. And, you know, whatever it is, but there's so many beautiful conversations coming out of that. And so that's really that's what we use in many ways. Luckily, the language of fitness resonated with both of us from the beginning of our relationship, because we're both athletes. So it's almost like a currency or language, right?
Yeah. I often encourage couples when they have to have difficult conversations to go for walks, because just like endorphins are natural painkillers, and the pain that they kill, emotional pain and physical pain, shows up in many of the same areas of the brain. So just going for a walk can make an emotional situation less painful. It's a good way to like vent out your frustrations and get, you know, make it a little easier to bear.
It's really true. I mean, we would sign that really.
Yeah. The flip side of that is that whereas like doing something physical has a neurological effect on like killing pain and all kinds of other neurological effects, if you are living in your body, like in a workout, you're feeling a lot of things in your body. If you're living from that place, you may also be likely to feel emotions that you otherwise might be out of touch with.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so if you're working out next to your partner or you're working out alone, whatever, it's actually a great moment to reflect and tap into and become aware of subconscious thoughts or belief systems or narratives, things that you might be saying to yourself or images you might be holding yourself up to or aspiring to that you weren't aware of when you had the blinders on during your back-to-back meetings of work before that, or putting the kids to bed. Like, working out can have like, it can double as a meditation session almost, or a prayer session.
Totally.
You're religious.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah.
I love that.
Nice one.
I think the one thing that's also very important is to walk silently with each other, right? Like,
just be together.
Just be together and like walk into the same direction. And it stands for so much in life.
Oh yeah, there's so much symbolism in that.
So, and the simplicity of that moment is so fulfilling. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a logistical question for you.
Yeah.
Did you have to find a way of working out together that you both enjoyed? Like, or did you both just kind of dive in and say, whatever you want to do, I want to do?
No.
Because I've noticed, like, when this is just my situation. When I try and exercise with my wife, like, I remember taking her to a CrossFit gym for the first time, and she really wanted to try, and she was really excited. And I went and I tried to like work out next to her and help her along the way. And she's like, don't be my coach. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to be a coach. So then I'd show up to the gym and I would kind of do my workout and I wouldn't coach her. And she's like, you're not talking to me. And you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of couples who bump into this.
Yeah.
So what do you do to find that happy medium where you're exercising together without being each other's coach, but also and doing stuff that you both enjoy, where one of you isn't feeling like obligated? Do you have any advice? Like, did it take you a while to find that thing, or were you just one of those couples that just fell on it and you're like, yeah, we both love doing this and we're just going to keep doing it?
It did take a little while. Like, so early on in our relationship, we did enjoy going for jogs together. Mm-hmm. And we enjoyed going for jogs through the city and nature. And that was a shared experience that we could lean into. Yeah. And then we both kind of like fitness took a back seat for a little while because of work and the first pregnancy. But then after the first pregnancy, we started to get really back into it. And it was cool because we were both coming from this place of being kind of out of shape and looking at Shanti and feeling really uncomfortable because he's yelling at us. Going through insanity was a shared experience. And Franzi had previously done a lot of yoga. So she used that as a jumping off point to get back into yoga and other forms of that style of working out. And I kind of like ran with the insanity thing and started doing more CrossFit style stuff just on my own at first. Mm-hmm. And I think we were both like appreciative of the other's passion area or interest area and wanted to learn more about it and supported each other's style of working out. So sometimes I would join Franzi for yoga sessions, or she would join me in the gym for like crazy weightlifting sessions. And neither of us was like an expert, but we would try to coach each other a little bit, and we would get annoyed with each other. And then we'd like,
okay, no, I'm not the only one.
Oh no! When you said that, I was like, "Oh, this is exactly how we started."
Totally.
And I think for me personally, like, I was so uncomfortable with Ted telling me like, you should be doing this and, you know, move the bar like this and, you know, back straight, whatever. And I'm just like, who are you?
Let me do it myself.
But eventually I had to like realize that it was my own freaking insecurity, right? I have never been a competitive athlete. It's always been just me, kind of like, you know, me against me. And Ted has been this like ultra like competitive athlete with always a bunch of people around him and coach and whatnot. And so we were coming from like two very different angles. And that convergence was really important. But you have to be willing to allow that convergence to happen and appreciate where both come from.
Totally.
Right. I mean, that's a metaphor for life, but I would say, but I think once I realized that, I started to be more open. And I actually started asking, it's like, how do you think I should do this? And he's like, ooh, like, what is happening? And so that was a really cool moment, but that took quite a while. And to be honest, sometimes we still have those days. Like I have a grumpy day and he's like, hey, I want to be there for you. Do you want to work out with me? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to work out with you, but I'm going to do my own thing, Right. But then 10 minutes into the workout, we're already like, okay, we're back together. It's all going to be fine.
I think one thing that did that helped us find a point of union in our approach to fitness was actually learning a new skill together. We a couple of
doing something new that you've never done.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, we hired an online coach who taught us some stuff about kettlebells and gave us this like kettlebell training program for how to get in really good shape with kettlebells. Neither of us was like great at kettlebells. I knew how to like swing it decently.
Right.
So
doing a Turkish get up was like a nightmare.
Turkish get ups, snatches, like what the heck is this? You just swing it to the top.
You're walking away with like bruises on your forearm.
Yeah, exactly. And we both endured those kind of like embarrassing, like, oh, what is, how bruised are your forearms today from learning how to do the form of this thing? And and now we both are like adept with kettlebells, and it's been such a cool little journey. You like have these small wins of learning how to interact with your body against another object or do different kinds of movements. And that's definitely fun. Like there's so many cool things we want to learn together. Like we've talked about learning partner yoga, doing like advanced calisthenics stuff, getting back into like forms of powerlifting. And it's all like, it's just, there's so much you can do with your body. And as long as you take care of it, and
it's all possible.
It's all possible. And you can keep working out until you're in your old age.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot here, and I want to kind of recap by leaving people with like a couple of specific to-dos.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the importance of like teaching your family fitness and having fitness be a part of your culture as a family. We've talked a little bit about the difference between not being sick and being healthy. We've talked a lot about, different mindsets and exercises and things that you can do and things that you can do with your kids. So if you could have like 2 or 3 takeaways for everybody listening to this or watching this over these next couple of weeks, where especially considering like, okay, we're quarantined, we may not have access to everything that we typically have access to. If you were to just give like 2 or 3 pieces of advice for people to not go stir crazy, to work out their bodies, to stay in shape, to stay healthy, and to kind of start introducing this concept of fitness to their families, what would you say are like the 3 things that they should be doing? And you don't have to agree. You can just like off the top of your head, what are the things that come to mind?
Popcorn. So my personal favorite would be we do 7-minute family workouts. So 7 minutes because that's about the time that our kids last. But our son Maximilian, he picks a workout. So he comes up with like 35 push-ups, 10 jumping jacks, 3 air squats or something. And because
this is really funny.
They're just like really funny, sort of like with, and then we just like throw on like really good music.
Yeah.
And we just all do it together. And
I love that.
It's like a dance party.
It is fun in the morning. It is fun to break up the day, and it's fun at night. We personally do it a lot at night because the boys are really, really active. And sometimes they just need to let additional steam out before they go. But that's my personal favorite. You just can sort of like start now.
Yeah.
And
So involve them. They kind of get to pick the movements.
Yeah.
And then turn on some awesome music and do it in just 7 minutes and just get as much work as you can in those 7 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic tip.
Yeah.
And you can do that multiple times a day. Like there's nothing evidence showing that micro workouts repeated multiple times throughout the day is actually like a way healthier approach than trying to like work out to exhaustion for 60 minutes once.
It's good for your cardiovascular system because you don't ramp it up for like 30 minutes. And what we said at the beginning, right? And then you just let it idle sort of for the rest of the day. But like you have those nice, healthy spikes.
Active lifestyle.
I love that.
I'm going
to other tips?
Throw one other tip in, which is that, look, we're all quarantined. We're at home. It's uncomfortable. Everyone's got different reasons that it's uncomfortable. Let go of what you think a workout needs to look like or feel like or be, and just recognize that moving in and of itself is the point. You just want to stay active. You don't want to sit for 18 hours a day. You just need to move. Like, get up and move. Like, in between meetings, do 5 or 10 jumping jacks or some push-ups, or go for a walk through the hallway in your apartment building. Like, take calls while you're walking. Do a family workout. Like, download a couple fitness apps, which there are so many. Go on YouTube for free fitness videos. Follow along. Throw on your favorite playlist on max volume and shut the windows and just like do burpees until you can't breathe anymore. Like, whatever.
I want to get access to your guys' workout playlist. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
we'll release one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you know what? The third one could be, so we actually just finished a 1 week COVID-19 family workout plan that everybody can download for free. So that
where can they get it?
Link in bio.
Deepfit.co.
/family workout.
/family workout. Yeah. And then you just download it. You can print it. It's in like very bright colors, so the kids love it too. And and then you just like roll with that. And we're rolling out the 1 month version too in the next couple weeks.
I love it. I'm going to be sending people that way.
Good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I love what you guys are doing. I love that you're taking fitness away from just being an individual experience and making it like a thing that you can do as a couple, a thing that you can do as a family, and that you're trying to make this part of like a value system, not an individual value system, but the organization of your family. Like, this is, it's something that you can instill in your kids as a value and instill in each other as a value, that we're going to be, this is something that I don't talk about a lot on the Growth Marriage podcast, is fitness, but it's an aspect of who you are. And there's a lot of people who maybe they focus on their emotional health and their mental health and their relationship health, but they don't focus on their physical health and like all of the other areas of your life. And if you're suffering physically, it's going to affect your emotions. It's going to affect your relationship. It's going to affect your mental health. And staying active and moving and sweating it's important. It's important to master your body. It's important to be to grow in all areas of your life. And I love that you guys are champions of that.
Well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
We couldn't have said it.
I might write it down and just, use it moving forward.
Just play for it. With Nate talking.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, I want to keep having y'all back and maybe give us some cool workout tips down the road. But I'm definitely going to be sending people to your COVID-19 week-long workout plan.
Yeah, totally. Awesome.
Okay, guys.
Thanks. You, Nate.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.